St George's was built, with Portland stone of course, in the 1760s. Its architect was local man Thomas Gilbert. He had helped Christopher Wren select the stone for St Paul's Cathedral, and this was a miniature copy of that inspirational building.
St Paul set the standard for early 18th century Georgian church building, and there's a lot of examples around the country of people attempting to build their churches in the same style as St Paul. So everything is very symmetrical, these neoclassical rounded arches and windows.
The dramatic pews and galleries are not original. They were put in by the Victorians, their romantic interpretation of what a Georgian church should look like. Services ended here 100 years ago, but it is wonderfully well preserved. Here in the vestry, underneath the bell tower, there's a lovely little detail, a plaque that has the rules for tolling the bell. When a person dies, a knell to be rung, and afterwards strike 6 times for a man and 3 for a woman. The real drama at St George's lies in the churchyard. Here are tales of murder, misfortune and mayhem. The Trust's Kim Thompson gave me a tour, beginning with the infamous Eastern Massacre of 1803.
This must have been one of the most terrifying incidents in the island's life when the press gang landed in Chiswell. Women and men ran from their houses up the hill to the church. This was 5 in the morning. 3 men were killed immediately by the press gangers, but unfortunately one of the victims was a woman who we got here, Mary Way. She's buried next to her husband. But it seems to me awful that a woman got caught up in this very violent episode in the island's life. The story here is that William Hansford was trying to escape the sea which had come in at Chiswell into his house. He fell over, he broke his leg. Unfortunately, he must have lay there in some pain, and then his house fell on him.
St George's is in the middle of a major conservation programme. The churchyard is being thoroughly surveyed. There are 1,600 headstones here. 300 need attention.
What we're trying to do is not to make this a uniform churchyard. We're not trying to make all the stones upright and straight as possible. That would ruin the visual aesthetic of the churchyard, which is rather pleasant. But what we do need to do is correct any tombstones that have become so unstable and are leaning at such an angle that they've become a health and safety issue.
The Trust's philosophy is minimal conservation. To respect what the church has become, even if you don't particularly respect the architect, Thomas Gilbert.
Unfortunately, he wasn't a very good architect. And the dome that you can see above the gable at this end, well, you can just see it, the design was that it would match and mimic the dome of St Paul's Cathedral. As you can see, it doesn't. It's a kind of cut-price Portland version.
Not everyone agrees. St George's is, after all, Grade 1 listed, and its churchyard will always remain a cracking good read.